Good afternoon, class of 2024, and welcome to your long-awaited induction. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Max Girusso. I'm a graduating senior and the outgoing DCGA president. While I would normally be meeting you all for the first time to welcome you to the Hill during Augo, I'm thrilled to be speaking to you after having had the opportunity to engage with so many of you this year. Just 2 weeks away from graduation, I've been reflecting upon the last 4 years I've spent as a Denisonian. You've heard it countless times, but your time here will be over before you know it. When you're climbing up a hill, it's hard to see anything but the ground in front of you. You can turn around to see the view behind you, but it's often obscured by the thick fog of the past. For years, you all climbed your own hills all around the world to get to where you are now. The top of the next hill is within reach, just a few years away. But during your time here, you will confront moments when it can feel impossible to keep your gaze focused on the top. Sometimes all you can do is watch your feet move slowly forward, one step at a time. Sometimes the top of the hill feels hauntingly unimaginable, and the fog around you feels thick and impenetrable. In these moments, the best thing you can do is take pause to look around you. Look at what you can see. And the more you look around you, the more you'll learn a new perspective. You'll see your peers climbing the hill alongside you. You'll see family, coaches, faculty, and others who have traversed this hill standing along the route, ready to lend a hand and guide you to the top. You'll remember that the top is within reach. Before you know it, you'll be standing at the top of the hill one last time, looking out over the horizon. You'll be standing higher than you've ever stood before on the pinnacle of your undergraduate education. And in that moment, the whole world will be ahead of you. But all the people you love, the people that helped you along the way, will be standing right beside you. While you spend the next 3 years learning and growing, both in and out of the classroom, make sure to take the time to look around you. We are all on this hill together as Denisonians. The more you share your time and experiences here with those around you, the more opportunities you will have to grow and thrive as a student. You're all sitting here because you have accomplished incredible things, and you have so much more to accomplish in the years ahead of you. The first year of college is an incredibly overwhelming experience, and to go through that landmark moment in the midst of a global pandemic is truly remarkable. This year was filled with more challenges than we ever thought possible. But if you can survive your first year of college under the circumstances that you did, the next 3 years will feel like an explosion of opportunity and experiences. I would wish you all the best of luck, but I know you won't be needing it. Thank you, and welcome to the beginning of the 4 most incredible and transformative years of your life. I will now ask Dr. Miller, Vice President of Student Development, to join me at the podium.
Thank you, Max. Good evening. Oh, I grew up in a black church, and when people say that, thank you. Greetings to the class of 2024. Today, on behalf of our faculty and staff, I greet you as the present and future of our beloved Denison. While the tradition of induction in August is a very warm way to welcome our first years into our family, there's something really special about being able to have this moment with you at the end of your first year. A moment for you to reflect on your Denison experience thus far and where you'd like it to go. You have embarked on a new journey at a time that is not just consequential for your own lives, but also for our world. I've had the honor to meet many of you around campus this year, and I am delighted that you all have decided that this is where you will spend the next 3 years of your life. As your Vice President of Student Development, I consider myself lucky to be able to live and learn alongside all of you. I hope you feel proud to be called a Denisonian today and forever. I am delighted to join you in celebrating your first year of college and traveling alongside of you for the rest of your time here on the Hill. This being my first year at Denison, I feel a special connection to your class. In my role as Vice President of Student Development, I believe that I have the best job in the world. I get the opportunity to work with the most caring, compassionate, intelligent, and ambitious students. My job allows me to be with students in great moments of joy and celebration, like today's induction, but yet in my role, sometimes I must also stand with students in moments of great pain, frustration, or despair, which are all necessary moments of learning and development for our students as you begin to ask yourself questions like, who am I and who do I want to be? We are all fortunate to be on a campus like Denison, a world-class university with access to so many resources, even amidst a pandemic. Hopefully by now you have noticed, like I have, that at Denison, you get to be the architect of your own Denison experience. The opportunities at Denison are vast, but you have to take advantage of them. The Denison experience is challenging by design, but it will help you reach your fullest potential. For about 5 years now, I've tried to center my life around this little book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I recommend that you read it, especially as you navigate the rest of your time here on campus. And by now, everyone in student development knows I'm quite the evangelist about this book, because personally, I found the book to be a powerful tool as I relate to the world. This book has even helped me navigate my first year here at Denison. The agreements are based on wisdom from ancient people who ruled central Mexico thousands of years ago. And the agreements are, the first is to be impeccable with your word, which suggests that one must speak with integrity, say what you mean, and don't gossip. Words are powerful and can be liberating and positive, or destructive. The second agreement is don't take things personally. What other people do and say is about their feelings, their beliefs, and their fears. When you take things personally, you might be offended and the frame of whatever is being said becomes about you. That is not a good place to be, no matter positive or negative. If you know who you are, what people say or do should not affect you. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. We can't know why others do what they do. We should not try to interpret or assume intent. The author says that we ask for problems when we assume what people think because we create a narrative in our mind that reinforces our own beliefs, and that often leads to conflict or unhappiness. But as humans, we make a lot of assumptions. On campus, we sometimes make assumptions about those who live down the hall from us. We make assumptions about those who are part of different organizations or teams or other communities. Move beyond the assumption, get to know the individual. The last and final agreement is always do your best in every moment you can, and know that your best will vary from day to day, given the circumstances. And that's okay. Your best is internally driven, not externally reinforced by what others think or do, how a project may have turned out, or how many awards you have received. Doing your best is something only you can assess. In my work with students, it's more likely that students will come to me in time of need or hurt rather than in joy. But I have to be able to stand with students at these times and understand what they bring is their own dynamic stories, ones that are complex and evolving. But I don't assume to know what or why they are in need. I don't assume that I know who they are because of their identity or background. And I don't assume what is motivating them. I can only ask questions, listen, and hear without taking it personally. Being impeccable with my word means doing what I can to find my own voice and to use my own words for good, taking in what students tell me and acting accordingly. It also means that I have to be authentic in my doing and my best every day. And let me tell you, sometimes I don't always meet the mark, and that's okay. There are days when my best means I have honored the agreements, but sometimes I have not. There are times where I have taken things personally, assumed intent, or had a moment that I was not impeccable with my word. I ask you now, O noble class of 2024, have you upheld the 4 agreements this year? In your campus organizations, in your athletic teams, in your classes, and the residence halls? Were you impeccable with your word this year? Were there times where you took things personally? Did you make assumptions about people? Did you feel that you did your best this year? Don't worry if you have not met the mark this year. The beautiful part about life is that you get to evolve. And speaking of evolution, next year you will become sophomores. And I'd like to take this moment to make a shameless plug for you all to consider in participating in a new program we're offering. Next semester, we'll be offering a sophomore orientation. This program is designed to help you find a deeper connection to campus and to continue supporting your success as a returning student. We had to be creative this year with AGO, but we hope that next year you'll have more opportunities to build community on campus next year. So stay tuned on more about sophomore orientation. But today, we are excited to welcome you as our new Denisonians. You are all well positioned to teach one another and all of us because you have unique things that you bring to our community. When our admissions office colleagues accepted you, it was because we wanted your voice and your contribution to our important and special place. So please, don't be silent. Engage with one another. Speak up so others can learn from you. Listen constantly so that you can learn from others. Don't be afraid to take the risk of being wrong. Don't be afraid to admit when you are wrong. It is the best way to learn and grow. And listen generously to others so that you may allow them to take risks too. Use the community of your fellow Denisonians as one of your greatest opportunities during your time here. Help us to build the Denison where we can be enriched by our diversity rather than divided by our differences. Good luck on your finals and happy induction, class of 2024. Now at this time, I'd like to welcome Greg Bader, our Vice President of Institutional Advancement.
Well, good evening, class of 2024, and welcome to the celebration of your first year. I'm Greg Bader, Vice President for Institutional Advancement. Our division is charged with the responsibility to keep alumni connected to the college and providing opportunities to nurture lifelong engagement with their alma mater. On behalf of all alumni, it's my privilege to officially welcome you to the Denison family. You are a member of one of the finest colleges in the country. During a traditional year, my colleagues and I have the opportunity to travel the country and meet with alumni and families to encourage their support of the college and to keep them connected to the Hill. However, this year, like each of you, we have had to adapt our approach. Instead, we find ourselves Zooming across the country. During these conversations with alumni, without fail, they ask, how are the students doing? It is often their first question. Simply, I want you to know that they care about you. They are hoping your experiences are positive, that you are enjoying your classes, that you are making new friends, and that you are finding your way through an admittedly complicated year. It's important for you to understand that your involvement at this college is more than a 4-year commitment. Denison prides itself on being a highly relational institution, and this is true for our alumni as well. This idea of caring and connecting is part of the fabric of this place. Denison alumni will often remark that their time at this college offered a new beginning, which inspired a love for learning, provided outstanding teaching, offered mentorship opportunities which encouraged them to become their best selves. And along the way, they nurtured lifelong friendships. I suspect these experiences sound familiar to what you have experienced this year and will experience over the next 3. In fact, you are already sharing these experiences with your alumni family, which is comprised of over 37,000 individuals, who share this incredible educational experience with you. And I want you to know they are rooting you on from near and far. The Denison family supports one another. This is among the oldest traditions of this college. Each year, thousands of alumni provide counsel to students, access to internships, advice to student organizations, a warm welcome to a new city, and yes, philanthropic support to ensure that this remains one of the finest liberal arts colleges in the country. They provide the resources to ensure that the cost does not become a barrier to attend this college. They provide support to faculty, ensuring that we attract the brightest minds who care deeply about teaching. They invest in buildings and grounds. Look around. Literally, look around. It would be hard to find a part of this college that the Denison family has not helped sustain and maintain this beautiful campus. From Dowdett Hall behind me, Hill, to Silverstein Hall, Denisonians continue to make investments to make your experience better, perhaps better than even the experience they had on the Hill. In the future, and yes, it's several years from now, but it will be your turn to care for this college. Your responsibility will be to continue this tradition of care and support for Denison students. And I know you will do it. I know you will step up because it is what Denisonians do, and this is the Denison way. It is also a Denison tradition to have two students serve as representatives of the entering class, in this case, the class of 2024. We select these two students as students whose hometown is nearest to campus and the student whose hometown is farthest from Denison. I am pleased to introduce Sarah Carpenter, who is approximately 1.5 miles from campus. And Nemu Susacha, who has traveled 8,702 miles from Thailand to arrive in Granville. This is the banner for the class of 2024. You will see your banner again upon the occasion of your graduation, and then it will join others as part of Denison's historical record. Again, I welcome you to Denison on behalf of your alumni family. Now I'm pleased to introduce to you Professor Susan Kennedy, who will welcome you on behalf of the faculty.
Hello, class of 2024. On behalf of the best faculty in the world, it's my pleasure to congratulate you on almost finishing your first year at Denison. It's been a challenging one and a very unique one, to say the least. To commemorate this occasion, I decided to reach deep in my psyche and come up with my creative side, which isn't very large, and I wrote a poem. And about an hour ago, I was actually sitting on the bench in front of Knapp Hall thinking, oh my gosh, you know, this is a pretty cheesy poem. And at that very moment, no kidding, a food truck with the words cheesy truck pulled up on the lawn. So it must be true. But anyway, here goes. I call it, To the Class of 2024, Reflections on Your First Year. On behalf of the Denison faculty, allow me please to say how very proud you've made us in each and every way. You came to us last August. The virus did abound, but you settled in and made new friends, a community you found. Through nasal swabs and spit tests, through quarantine and masks, you showed us your resilience. You tackled every task. As difficult as things had seemed, you worked hard through it all, and then before we knew it, we said goodbye to fall. February greeted us with much more of the same. Signal tests on Mondays, only if they called your name. The chill and cold of winter could often be quite wicked, but you made it through the chilly weeks. And one of those weeks was naked. Okay. No spring break, but wellness days, and masking still existed, but the class of 24 carried on and persisted. So here we are in early May, your first year almost finished. You've shown us your integrity, it hasn't once diminished. And when this summer is over and we see again your faces, you'll be back home here on the hill, the most wonderful of places. Congratulations, class of 2024. My colleague Ching Chu Hu of Denison's Department of Music has composed a very special piece of music to mark this occasion. The fanfare for the class of 2024 will be played today and then again upon the occasion of your commencement in May of 2024. Beautiful. It is my pleasure to now introduce Denison University's 20th president, Dr. Adam Weinberg.
Not sure that I want to follow Dr. Kennedy's poem. Dr. Miller said something I think is worth repeating, which I think is right. It's kind of nice to do this at the end of your first year. We typically do this the first night, and we're trying to give words of wisdom. And the truth is, people are way too nervous to pay attention at all. The other thing about August is it's often so brutally hot, and there's often bees flying around in the audience. So this is great. The weather's good. Campus looks gorgeous. And hopefully, we can offer some wisdom tonight that will help you finish your first year and then start your sophomore year. I do want to start by just congratulating you on almost completing your first year at Denison. Among the many things that happened this year, I hope the following three things have happened for you. The first is I hope you figured out how smart and how resilient you are. The first year of college, as Max correctly said, always has its ups and downs. But you managed to persevere through your first year of college during a global pandemic when nothing was normal. Take some time before you go home and just walk around the campus and give yourself permission to be proud of yourself and to recognize your intelligence, your resiliency, and your emotional agility. Here's the second. I hope you've learned a lot this year about what it means to receive a liberal arts education and why receiving one is so important. This year, we both taught the liberal arts and we role modeled it for you. Keeping a college open during a global pandemic turns out not to be easy, especially when the pandemic is caused by a virus that we don't fully understand and that's constantly changing on us. To open the campus in August and to keep it open throughout the year, we had to rely on the three great liberal arts attributes that you are learning through your classes and your co-curriculars. They're the ones that I acquired during my undergraduate liberal arts education, and they've anchored my life. And I want you to acquire them so they can anchor your life. They are as follows: intellectual rigor, the ability to form ideas based on fact, reason, and rationality, and the ability to discern fact from fiction. Intellectual creativity and critical thinking, the ability to see problems in new ways, to connect ideas into new ways of seeing the world, to be critical thinkers and creative problem solvers, to find opportunities where others only see barriers, to be forward-looking. And last, intellectual humility, the ability to realize that there's always a distinct possibility that we might be wrong, and hence we should be lifelong learners who are always seeking out alternative views and facts that can sharpen our thinking. As a college, we leaned into these attributes to guide us throughout the year. They allowed us to deal with ambiguity and change, to connect disparate ideas, to see the path forward a little bit more clearly, to problem solve and iterate our way forward, and most important probably, to stay focused on our purpose and our mission. It was liberal arts attributes that allowed us as a college to do things that many other colleges were not able to pull off this year. We opened the campus in the fall. We managed COVID on campus, keeping our numbers small. We've had most of our classes in person this spring. We've played sports, and this weekend, this campus will drip in the arts. Thank you to all of our performing artists for the gift you'll give us this weekend of live theater, live dance, live recitals, and a film festival. And we've even managed to find a way to have a social life. At their core, the liberal arts gives us the intellectual tools to rise to the challenges that life puts in front of us and to find a way to work with others to achieve what many often believe can't be done. Our faculty and staff role modeled that for you this year. As a liberal arts college, we also tried hard to lean into our values, because the liberal arts are about educating and inspiring students to lead successful lives, but to do that in ways that contributes to things that are larger than ourselves. For this college, this year, that meant keeping one thing front and center as we made decisions, keeping our people and the relationships between us front and center. Denison, at its core, is defined by the people who come here, the relationships we form with each other, and the way those relationships shape our lives. When the pandemic hit, we stated that our top priority would be to stand beside our people, which we defined as standing beside our students to make sure that you received the absolute best education we could provide, and standing beside our faculty and staff who make this life-shaping education possible. You are receiving a liberal arts education from a college that tries its best to use the liberal arts to guide itself. We do not always get it right, which is why intellectual rigor, intellectual creativity, and intellectual humility are so important. But our purpose and how we work to fulfill that purpose are about the liberal arts. Hopefully, we operated this year and helped you understand the power of a liberal arts education. So lastly, I hope you figured out this year what you need to do to make sure the next 3 years are life-shaping. I'm going to write this to you again in August, but this is really simple and very similar to what Dr. Miller and others have shared tonight. First, make your academic courses the centerpiece of your college experience. Nothing is more important. Academics are why the college exists. Take a wide range of classes and prioritize your academic work. Seek out faculty who will challenge you. Show up for every class prepared, pour yourself into your academic work, and more than anything else, get to know your faculty. There's not a faculty that cares more about their students. They will challenge you, and they will catalyze you because they believe in the academic potential we all know you have. Get involved in co-curriculars, but don't get overly involved. Denison students are doers, and much of the learning comes from the co-curricular involvements. But the goal is not to do many things, but to learn to do a number of things well. Value depth, commitment, and excellence. Avoid busyness for the sake of busyness. So as you spend time this summer preparing for your sophomore year, think about what you want to focus on and make sure you're also developing new interests and passions. Next, develop a wide set of friendships, especially with people who are different from you. Friendships run deep at Denison, and Denison works best when students seek out and form friendships with people who have a wide range of life experiences and worldviews. We encourage our students to proactively seek out peers in residential halls, classrooms, and other campus venues who see and live in the world differently than you. The wider your network of friends, the more you will get from your peers and from your Denison experience. Hopefully, that happened for you this year. If not, make it a priority for next year. And lastly, learn to fail forward. Part of a transformative college experience is learning to see and use the stumbles and failures as part of the process of self-discovery, personal development, and eventually achievement. We all take our life forward. Everything is not going to go well all of the time. And when things don't go well, avoid the temptation of believing that everybody else is succeeding at every aspect of their life while you're not. It's just not true. College is about growing as a person. This happens as you challenge yourself at a high level and in new ways. Failing is part of the process. And when things don't go as planned, follow the advice above, stop, reflect, learn, and try again. If you do these things, my hope is that you will graduate with the intellectual rigor, intellectual creativity, and intellectual humility that you need to be the architect of your life and to lead your life in ways that contributes to things larger than yourself. Congratulations on a great first year, and here's to a next great 3 years. So I'm going to invite Dr. Alex Miller, Vice President for Student Development, and Provost Kim Copeland to join me for the formal induction of the class of 2024. So I invite the class of 2024 to please rise. It is my honor to formally induct you, the class of 2024. May you continue to cultivate habits of the mind, share in our commitment to community, and embrace the values of our mission statement as autonomous thinkers, discerning moral agents, and active citizens of a democratic society. You are now officially inducted to Denison. Congratulations. You can sit if you want. So we're going to do something fun now that you will do at important moments of your life, and you will someday come back here and do this to celebrate your 50th reunion. I will not be the president then. We're going to sing the Alma Mater. So hopefully you've heard To Denison on the Swayze Bells. Hopefully some of you have sung it. To help you learn the melody to Denison, it's going to be sung the first time by the members of the 2024 August orientation staff. So I'm going to invite them up to sing it. After they sing it the first time, we're all going to rise and join the group as they sing it the second time, and the words are printed on the back of your program. And my notes say, please get away from microphone so nobody has to listen to you sing.
The To Denison we raise our song, fair college on the hill, the name that sets our souls on fire and makes our senses thrill. To Denison, my Denison, in praise our voices swell, the scenes of happy college days, the home we love so well.
So before we break, I just want to offer one reflection and maybe a favor of the class of 2024. I'll look at the faculty as I say this. If you had told me a year ago we'd be sitting here tonight in person on this beautiful campus, actually inducting you in person, it just wasn't where it felt like the world was. And if you had told me in December that we'd be doing this, it still didn't feel like where the world was going to be. I will get teary if I say much more other than to say, I'm glad we're doing this. You deserved it. And whoever you're close to on campus in terms of faculty or staff, at some point in the next week or so, just thank them because they put a lot of hard work into getting us through the year and allowing us to do this tonight. So that concludes our ceremony. First year students, you are now invited to join the celebration that is planned for you on the Reese Shackelford Commons. Thank you, everybody.